Hey y'all, welcome back to February's Staycations. It's February here. Today I wanted to kind of do a comparison of the two cruise lines that I've actually cruised on, Royal Caribbean and Carnival, and kind of go through each category and let you know my thoughts in which cruise line is my favorite in each of the categories. I've been cruising since 2013. I've taken, I want to say, about 5 cruises on Carnival and 2 cruises on Royal Caribbean. My first cruise ever was my girls. They took me on a cruise to nowhere for my bachelorette party back in 2013. They don't do cruises to nowhere anymore, but what it was is basically a 2-day cruise. You would go out into the middle of the ocean and you would come back. And it actually left right out of my home city, so it was super convenient and also super affordable because you didn't have to pay for port fees, excursions, or anything like that. So unfortunately they don't do those anymore. I'm not sure why, but Carnival, if you're listening, bring back the cruises to nowhere. I love them. My husband and I also did a cruise to nowhere one time when he came back from a deployment. That was actually his first civilian cruise. He's taken many military cruises because at one point he was in the Navy. But so I've cruised Royal Caribbean, I've cruised Carnival, and I'm here to talk about the differences of the two and what I like and don't like from pretty much each category. So if you're interested, stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll talk cruising. All right, so first thing I think that most people are most concerned about when they're planning their cruise is the cost. I just think over time, Royal Caribbean kind of has this connotation that they are the more expensive cruise line and Carnival is the more affordable cruise line. Well, I'm here to tell you, I've cruised both and I have found very affordable cruises on Carnival and Royal Caribbean. I actually think the most affordable cruise I've ever taken was on Royal Caribbean. It was the Oasis of the Seas. It was a 7-day cruise. And for myself and my husband, I want to say we paid about $1,400, which did include the taxes, the port fees, and the gratuities. So I wouldn't base which cruise line you pick off of your budget until you've actually done the research, because you can find some really affordable cruises on either line. It's going to depend on which season you cruise in. Of course, you're going to get the less expensive cruises, I want to say, during hurricane season. The more expensive cruises are, of course, going to be in peak season, so summertime, spring break. But it's also about the ship that you choose. As the cruise lines are coming out with the bigger and badder ships, not just Royal Caribbean, but Carnival too, they have some really nice, huge ships that have a lot of different features, amenities, and things like that. The cruises do seem to be more expensive the nicer and the newer ship that you choose. Just do some comparisons before you make a decision. Don't automatically count Royal Caribbean out because you think it's going to be more expensive, and don't automatically go with Carnival because you think that that's just the less expensive cruise line, because you can find some really affordable deals with both. All right, so next up we're going to talk about, I think, most of our favorite things to do, which is eating and drinking. So, drink package. That's one of the big topics of conversation in the cruise community. Should I get the drink package? Is it worth it? Yada, yada, yada. It's worth it. I actually made another video, my cruise tip video, that went into a little bit more detail about why I feel it's worth it. But Royal Caribbean has a truly unlimited drink package. So what that means is you pay the fee, whatever they're charging for the drink package, and you can get unlimited alcohol beverages, mixed drinks, bottles of water, energy drink, specialty coffees, juices, just pretty much anything you want. There is no limit. And another thing with the Royal Caribbean drink package is they have sales. So depending on if there's a holiday sale, like a 4th of July sale or a Black Friday sale, the cost of the drink package could actually significantly decrease. So it can go anywhere. I think the top price is about $55 per person per day, but I've seen people get it for as low as recently $18 per person per day, but that was a glitch with Royal Caribbean. They did not mean to basically give the drink package away, but kudos to Royal Caribbean because they did honor that glitch. So some people actually got it for super cheap, and they get unlimited alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. every single day of their cruise just by paying that one-time fee. Carnival is a little bit different. They have never actually had a sale that I'm aware of on the drink package, so they're just straight up $55 per person per day, plus the 18% gratuity that they'll go ahead and add on top of that. But they do have a cap on the alcohol beverages of 15 drinks per day, which is plenty. You know, you have a couple of drinks at the pool in the afternoon, you have a drink or two at dinner, and then when you hit the nightclub, you have a couple of drinks. So 15 drinks is okay. It's not an issue or anything like that. But again, it's just not unlimited. And it's something about just feeling like you don't have a limit. It just feels so much better. The Carnival drink package does also, though, come with unlimited non-alcoholic beverages. So you do get the unlimited waters, the energy drinks, specialty coffees, juices, and all of that. So very similar in that aspect. Again, the difference is one, Royal Caribbean, I think you can get a better price on the drink package, and then the unlimited alcohol beverages. Both of the cruise lines do require that any adult in the room age 21 or older has to purchase the drink package if one person decides to purchase it. So for example, I couldn't purchase the drink package and my husband decided that he doesn't want to. And they do that to protect themselves because, you know, they lose out on money when people share. So they just want to make sure if you're in the same room, we're going to collect the money for both, but it really is worth it. So my pick on this one is going to have to be Royal Caribbean, because I just don't like to feel limited. I want to make sure, you know, if I pay a certain amount of money for the ultimate drink package, I want it to be the ultimate drink package. That also allows you to try multiple different drinks. So if there's something that I've been wanting to taste or wanting to try, I can go ahead and try it. And if I don't like it, I know that this is being wasteful, and I don't typically do this. I usually like all my drinks. But if I don't like it, I could discard that one and get something else. So hands down, I think Royal Caribbean has it for the drink package. Now, as far as the food goes, the food setup is pretty similar on both cruise lines. So of course you have your main dining room, which is included in the cost of the cruise fare. There are specialty dining restaurants on both of the cruise lines, so it's basically dining that's a little bit more upscale, but it is for a fee. And then you have kind of just like your quick hit areas. So you have the pizza, both cruise lines have a pizza place, hamburger place, ice cream, like 24-hour ice cream, maybe a deli place and things like that. As far as the pizza goes, I'm gonna have to be honest, guys, don't hate me for this, but Royal Caribbean's pizza is trash. It's called Sorrento's. It's edible if it's really late at night and you are starving. I mean, it'll do the job, but it's trash. Now Carnival, they have some good pizza. To me, it tastes like a brick oven cooked pizza. The crust was delicious. The toppings were phenomenal. It's pretty much made to order, so it's really good. And then Carnival also has a pizza delivery service. So you can order pizza from anywhere on the ship. I think it costs about $5 right from the Carnival app, and they will deliver it to you. So I mean, who doesn't want delivered pizza while you're sitting next to the pool? As far as like the burgers and the French fries and things like that, Carnival has it hands down with Guy's Burger Joint. Some of the best burgers at sea, and actually they're pretty good burgers. To me, I would compare it to like a Five Guys. I don't know if where you're at they have Five Guys, but just a really great juicy hand patted burger, and you can pick whatever toppings you want. You can get onions, peppers, bacon, special sauce. And then they do have the hand-cut real potato French fries. So definitely Carnival has it hands down when it comes to the burgers. The other dining, I mean like the buffet and the dining room, to me, neither one of them had the upper hand. I mean, it was pretty similar food. The menus pretty much all the same. Shrimp scampi, cocktail shrimp, prime rib, mashed potatoes, soup of the day. They usually have like a lobster night. And then in the buffets, they typically will have like maybe like a certain cultural night, so you can try different foods. So nothing really stood out about either one of those to me. the food is okay. I have tried specialty dining on both Carnival and Royal Caribbean. Carnival, my husband and I tried the Italian restaurant. And actually that is a perk with Carnival that Royal Caribbean doesn't do. If you let them know it's either your birthday or your anniversary or something that you're celebrating, they usually will give you something for free. So one particular cruise, they gave us a free specialty dining. So we chose to eat at the Italian restaurant. It was okay. I mean, we're not huge Italian lovers anyway, but it wasn't anything to write home about or anything like that. Would I pay for that Italian restaurant in the future? No. But that doesn't mean that you won't like it. So definitely try it for yourself if you are a huge Italian lover. Now, the specialty dining that we tried on Royal Caribbean was the hibachi. It's called azumi. And hands down, and I've eaten a lot of hibachi in my life. I love hibachi. It's you know, we do that at home. It's something that we do for, you know, celebration or just because we want to go out to eat. I will say that this was probably one of the best, if not the best, hibachi experiences from the chef that was cooking our food. He was just awesome, funny, hilarious. And then the food itself was phenomenal. Some of the best hibachi. I think I got the steak and the scallops, which is what I usually get, and then the rice and the vegetables and the soup, and we got a couple of sushi rolls. But hands down, the hibachi place, definitely try it. Another thing that really stood out to me on Royal Caribbean was the Central Park Cafe. This was specific to the Oasis of the Seas. On the 7-day cruise, I finally went on the last day, and I'm so upset, but when I tell you I had one of the best roast beef sandwiches that I've ever had in my life, down from the bread to the roast beef and the cream of mushroom soup, it was phenomenal. And when I tell y'all, I'm serious about my food. Like, I'm not just gonna say it's good because it was Royal Caribbean, it was the Oasis of the Seas. No, this was a phenomenal roast beef sandwich. So good that I'm embarrassed to say that I went back and I think had 2 or 3 roast beef sandwiches, probably within a 2 to 3 hour time frame, and about 3 or 4 bowls of the cream of mushroom soup, just because I knew that was my last day on the ship and I would not get a chance to have it again.
Tempted to book the Oasis of the Seas again, just to go back and get the soup and the roast beef sandwich. That's how good it is.
So I think I'm gonna give it to Royal Caribbean when it comes to the food, just because that roast beef sandwich was the bomb, and so was the hibachi. But when it comes to pizza, Carnival, they got that hands down. So next would be entertainment. Each cruise line, or all of the cruise ships that I've been on, have what's called a cruise director. Some ships, depending on the size, may have multiple cruise directors. And what they'll do, you have like an entertainment director and, you know, I guess music directors and things like that, but their primary job is to make sure that everybody's getting involved with the activities and everybody's having fun. Carnival, their cruise directors have a very strong presence. From the time that you enter the ship, from the time that you leave, you see the cruise director, you hear the cruise director, and you know them by name. You don't have to look for them, they're looking for you. They're making sure that you are getting involved in just, you know, any of the activities that they have going on board. So when Carnival dubbed themselves the fun ship, they were right. They absolutely are the fun ship. They make an extra effort to ensure that you are having fun. Royal Caribbean, I learned that they did have a cruise director. When I went on the 7-day cruise on Oasis, that was my first Royal Caribbean cruise, that was something that actually really stood out to Dre and myself. I haven't heard a cruise director. Like, I haven't seen anybody trying to get us hyped and you know, to get us into the clubs or the contests. So I literally thought that there was no cruise director. The way that I found out that there was a cruise director is we went to one of the shows one night, and the gentleman that was hosting the show introduced himself as a cruise director. So that's how I found out that there was a director on the cruise. As far as like the entertainment, both Royal Caribbean and Carnival have comedy clubs. They have different shows. Royal Caribbean, they actually have Broadway shows. And then depending on what ship you're on, like the Oasis, they had a real live water acrobatic show. It has ice skating, laser tag, I think was on Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean, actually, they have zip lining, they have rock climbing wall, they have a flow rider, which is one of those surfboard simulator things. All of the ships I've been on, both Carnival and Royal Caribbean, have water slides and things like that. So when it comes to just having a hype man and someone there hyping you up and making sure that you're in the trenches and you're having fun, hands down, I gotta give it to Carnival. They're gonna make sure you have fun. Regardless of what type of amenities they have or what type of activities are going on, they're going to make sure that you're involved. As far as the actual physical activities to do, hands down, I gotta give it to Royal Caribbean. I mean, I zip-lined on a cruise ship. The Oasis of the Sea has a merry-go-round on it. So there are a ton of different things that are kind of self-assist. You have to seek them out yourself for Royal Caribbean. So I'm not really sure. I really did miss the cruise director on Royal Caribbean. I mean, that is something that I really do enjoy, something that makes the trips memorable. So, I mean, as far as actual physical activities, I'm going to give it to Royal Caribbean. But as far as having that hype man and someone there to just make sure that you make the best of every moment, it goes to Carnival. So as far as the amenities go, and I'm talking about the deck area, so like the Lido, the pools, the jacuzzis, things like that. Both cruise lines, of course, have jacuzzis. They both have swimming pools. They both have pool bars and things like that. And on the ships that I've been on, both Carnival and Royal Caribbean each had their own dedicated area for adults where you had to be 16 or older to enter. I do know that some of the ships I don't think have those. I do think that they are including those on all new ships. But I have to say, I like Royal Caribbean's amenities when it comes to those things 1,000 times better. The two Carnival ships that I've been on have had one main swimming pool in the, I think on the Lido deck is what you call it. And it's very small and is usually saturated with a ton of kids and a ton of people, which is fine because that's what people are there for, to have fun, and they're allowed to enjoy the pool area, but it's really not big enough for you to actually enjoy yourself. You're usually, I actually never even went into the pool on Carnival because it was so saturated and my kids were in there with the other kids just splashing around. But my kids both complained that I believe the water in the pools was either very chlorinated, which is good to keep out the germs, or it was either salt water, but their eyes burned severely, so they actually did not like the pools on Carnival. And then also the jacuzzis on Carnival were really small, just little small round jacuzzis, which were nice. I did use them, no problems, and they did have multiple jacuzzis out on the pool deck, so there weren't any issues with not being able to get a spot. But yeah, the pool on Carnival just really wasn't anything to write home about. I never even got into the pool, and like I said, I've been on multiple Carnival cruises. Now, Royal Caribbean, on the two ships that I've been on, actually have had multiple swimming pools. They were big enough for, a decent amount of people to be in the pools, and it didn't seem as crammed and as crowded. And then their jacuzzis, especially in the adult area. I never went into the adult area on Carnival, so maybe it's my fault. Maybe I just didn't go out and explore the ship as much as I should have, but it just didn't seem inviting. But Royal Caribbean's adult area, it's called the Serenity Lounge or the Serenity area. They have jacuzzis that hang off the side of the ship, so they're kind of a half moon shape. They have one on each side of the ship, and it just hangs off the side, and you can look out for miles and miles into the ocean, and they're huge. There's enough room for many adults to fit, and it was just really chill and relaxing and just a super great vibe. They actually have bartenders that'll come up and serve you drinks, so you don't even have to get out of the jacuzzi until you're ready, really. So again, when it comes to the pools and the amenities and the Lido deck, I gotta give it to Royal Caribbean. All right, so next up we're going to talk about the actual rooms and the amenities on board. Again, I've only done 2 Royal Caribbean cruises, so of course I haven't sailed on every ship. I have done more Carnival, but to be honest, the rooms on the ships are pretty much all the same. I've stayed in a couple of interior rooms, I've done ocean view, and then I did one time have a balcony on Carnival, which was nice, but the actual room on the inside was very similar to the interior. And they all have a bed. They usually have a couch, maybe a little table, closet space, and then a really small bathroom. But I will say, if I had to choose, I think that Royal Caribbean has the better rooms. And the only reason that I'm saying that is because the showers. Royal Caribbean has glass showers, so you can pull the glass around and it shuts all the way. Carnival, all of the ships that I've been on, they may be changing this with some of the new ships that they're building, all have shower curtains. And it sucks because when you turn the water on, the shower curtain flies into the shower and it gets stuck to your leg. And to me, that's just disgusting. I'm sure they're not changing the shower curtains after every sailing. They might, but I just feel like they're probably not. So who wants an old nasty shower curtain stuck to their leg while you're trying to take a shower? Other than that, I mean, the beds, one wasn't more comfortable than the other. I will say on the Oasis, I love the Oasis. That was probably one of my favorite cruises, but the bed was really uncomfortable. They had those foam egg crates, and it was like a king size bed, but they had like a twin size one on my side, a twin size one on my husband's side, and in the middle of the night, I kept rolling over into the crack. So that was probably the most uncomfortable bed, but I've also stayed on the Independence of the Seas and I had no problem. Pretty comparable, but absolutely the bathrooms are 1,000% better on Royal Caribbean. Of course, the ports of call, each cruise line actually has a private destination. The ports of call are pretty much similar. Most cruise lines do go to the Bahamas, so Nassau and Freeport. And then some of the other Caribbean islands. But each cruise line actually does have their own private island, so this may be a reason why you choose one cruise line over the other. Carnival has a private island in the Bahamas. Actually, I think they have 2 private islands in the Bahamas. I've only been to one, and it's called Half Moon Cay. I would definitely recommend looking it up and doing some research. When I tell you this is one of the most beautiful beaches that I have been to in my life, it's basically a deserted island. I don't think anybody lives there, just, you know, the Carnival workers. And it's a beautiful, just half moon shaped beach with some of the clearest waters you'll ever see. They do have like different huts and things like that you can rent, and then they have a barbecue area where you get an included barbecue for lunch when you're on the island. That is probably one of my favorite ports that I've ever been to, and I'm blessed enough that I'm actually going to be able to go back in October, and I'm taking all my friends, so I'm so excited to be able to experience that with them. They have another private destination. I want to say it's called Princess Cay, and that's also in the Bahamas, but I've never been, so I don't have any information to provide you on it. Royal Caribbean also has a couple of private destinations. The only one that I've been to, and I've actually been there twice, is Labadee, Haiti. So rewind really quickly, going back to the private destinations for Carnival, you cannot use your drink package on the island. So if you do want bottled water or a alcoholic beverage, you actually have to purchase that additional. It's not included in the package. So that is kind of the one thing that I didn't like about Half Moon Cay, because the drinks are actually really expensive. And I paid for the it's called the Cheers package. So I'm on your private island. Why aren't the drinks included? The private destination that I've been to for Royal Caribbean is called Labadee, Haiti. Again, I went there twice. Both of the Royal Caribbean cruises that I sailed on stopped there. The first time it was my husband and I, and they had this really cool zip line that goes over the water. We did decide to do that. But the first time we went, it was just a really like gloomy, rainy day. It was sprinkling the whole time. So we did go ahead and do the zip line, which is really cool getting up to the zip line. We went up this really twisty mountain. but the ride literally lasted like a minute. So I think by the time I looked up, it was done, but it was a cool experience. We didn't really go in the water or anything like that because again, it was rainy. We did go through the little village. They have the local Haitians. They are allowed to come to the private destination area and sell some of their things. And it was pretty intense, which I get it because tourism is one of their primary forms of income. So they do want to make sure that they sell as much of their items as possible. But it was very intense and almost a bit uncomfortable. The way that they kind of haggled you when you walk through the local area. There is also like a private area that Royal Caribbean has set up where it's not nearly intense, but you can still get some really good items and souvenirs and things like that. But the second time that we went, it was actually a beautiful day. We went with the family and we were able to go ahead and enjoy one of the beaches and do some snorkeling and some swimming and things like that. There are a few different beaches on Labadee, depending on what status you are as far as your cruising. So if you're like a gold member because you've cruised so many times, or a platinum member, you get access to one of the nicer beaches. But the one that we went to was very beautiful and we had a great time. And they also have like a barbecue area with food and things like that that's included. They do allow you to use your unlimited drink package on the island. So that does include the water, the alcohol beverages, the sodas, and everything like that. Each island also have excursions and things that you can pay extra for. As far as the beach goes, hands down, Half Moon Cay was beautiful. But Labadee was really cool as well, and just it's backdrop with the most beautiful mountains. And when we were leaving the island, it was getting dark, and I got to witness one of the most beautiful blood moon sunsets leaving Labadee, Haiti. So it really is a beautiful island, and if you get a chance to experience it, you're very blessed. But if it were up to me, I mean, again, the Half Moon Cay and Carnival was beautiful. So if you're just looking for that beautiful picturesque beach day, Half Moon Cay is where it's at. So that's all I can think of right now, just as far as the comparison of the cruise line. If I had to choose a cruise line, and it didn't matter which port it was leaving out of or anything like that, it would probably be Royal Caribbean. Although I love Carnival as well. Again, I have a Carnival cruise coming up here in August. For me, Carnival is a little bit more convenient because where I live, we have a port, and Carnival is the only cruise line that sails out of that port. So it's like 5 minutes from my house. But if I have to travel to go on a cruise, then I would probably pick Royal Caribbean over Carnival, unless Carnival was one of the newer ships and it was sailing to a port of call that I just haven't been to before and I really wanted to go. I hope that this video was helpful. Again, I do consider myself somewhat of a cruise veteran because I'm going on, I think, number 7 or 8 here. If you have any useful information that you would like to provide to, you know, whoever's watching this video, please leave a comment down below. And you know, I just been sipping on some lemonade. But yeah, please like, subscribe, share, and if you have any ideas or anything, any videos or anything like that that you'd like to see from us, we'd be happy to do them. Dre will be back soon. I know I keep saying that, but he's coming back soon, and we're going to be doing some really cool videos together. So again, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you guys so much, and go ahead and book that cruise, man. I'm telling you, once you book, or not book it, but once you take your first cruise, it's over. I'm telling you, it's the best vacation ever. It's basically like you're at an all-inclusive resort that stops at different destinations. So you can basically island hop and get the feel of an all-inclusive resort. So it's my favorite way of vacationing, and I hope you fall in love with it too. But again, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next video.